live streaming there.
All right.
So watch your language, young man.
Oh, yeah. I'll try to.
All righty. Okay, if you're ready, I am ready.
I'm ready.
Oh, got to turn the mic on. That's always important.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, we are here at the 2017 REACH Conference in beautiful Palm Desert, California, put on by the fine folks at the California Nevada Credit Union League. And we are here with Mr. Todd Lane, leader of the fearless crew at Cal Coast Credit Union. How are you, sir?
Absolutely. Leaving San Diego, you don't want to leave San Diego too often,
True.
but if you have to leave San Diego, Palm Springs, Desert Springs is a great place to come.
Nice substitute for the time being.
Yeah, there's no waves here, but there's lots of sand and sunshine. So.
And there's a little bit of golf out there.
There is.
If you're into that. So, hey, just before we get started into our conversation, how's the conference going for you? Any takeaways that you want to take back?
Oh, it's a great conference. I love the speakers that they've had so far. They're high energy and just so talented. The last speaker, we saw Sasha. He was talking about branding, that sort of thing, which really resonates with us. And as Mike, as I was sharing with you earlier, we not only brand the credit union from a member perspective, we want the community and our members to really know who we are, what we're about, but we're now doing it from an employer perspective because there's a war on talent out there. And it is tough to keep talented people employed at the credit union, and especially in San Diego. And you wouldn't think San Diego would be tough, but the cost of living is so expensive there, as you know. And so we have to really have an engaged employee that wants to be a part of California Coast Credit Union, that wants to be a part of the community, and so we have a whole strategy around that now.
So what's the strategy? And so obviously the war on talent was kind of the spark, I assume, that kind of built this strategy. So what are some of the aspects of the strategy?
Oh, there's many aspects to it, and we're still building it. And there's one exciting element that we're going to do in the future that I'll talk a little bit about later. But really making sure that prospective employees in the community know what the credit union's all about. We're not trying to sell them membership. We're trying to sell them on coming to work at a credit union and being part of an organization that serves the community. We view ourselves as a community-based organization. We got to look like the community, and we got to give back to the community. And it's not just writing checks and having great pictures of us holding big, huge checks and donating money. It's donating ourselves, our time, and caring about the community. And San Diegans love that. Oh, yeah. San Diegans love San Diego stuff. So that's a big part of it. So we have a whole social media campaign around our employer brand. So we're not only putting out, Twitter feeds and Facebook posts and stuff like that for, to build our membership, to communicate with our members, but prospective employees. And our HR team, they tweet all the time.
Oh, really? Oh,
and share things about our organization and what's important for especially younger employees that perhaps are graduating college, what to look for in an organization. So that's, the whole social media campaign. We have the old job fairs. So we have our own job fair at the credit union in our parking lot a couple times a year. And we've done it 3 times now, and we're actually getting great candidates coming to the credit union, and we're hiring them right there on the spot. And that's another key thing, part of the strategy, is you got to be quick these days. We lost an employee, Mike, that wasn't out there looking for a job. He was in IT, but somebody noticed his profile on LinkedIn. Oh. They called him up. He was in our project management office. And they called him up and said, "We'd like to interview you." And he said, "I'm not looking for a job, but we'd like to interview you today." And he said, "Well, I'm in jeans and tennis shoes. Can you meet me at the Starbucks?" And this is a large company. "Can you meet me at the Starbucks right around the corner from your office?" He went there. They interviewed him. They made him an offer right there, and he accepted it. That's what we're dealing with today.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. So you have to be fast. So at our job fairs, it's not, let's take your application and we'll check you out for a month or two.
Right.
You got to hire right there.
Yeah.
We had hiring managers on site. So the world's changed. There's definitely a war on talent.
The nerve of those people.
I know. Can you believe it? But the exciting thing that I'm really looking forward to is, so we have a foundation called Cal Coast Cares Foundation that supports our teachers and gives scholarships to students, at-risk students in San Diego and Riverside County, helps them go to college. So we have a foundation today, but we're starting a second foundation for just our employees. We ought to offer that same assistance to our employees that are going through any sort of crisis. And we're going to seed fund that foundation, and we'll engage our membership in it. It's credit unions sometimes forget our members really care about our employees and their well-being, and they will donate. We've tied our original foundation into our rewards program, and our members donate. Instead of getting an extra box of checks once every year, they'll donate $50 through their rewards program to the foundation. We're going to do the same thing for our employee foundation, just to help them out, whether it's a health issue or, it could be any crisis that they face in their life. And so that's also part of that, what we call employer brand strategy. So it's exciting stuff. We love it. So
I mean, and it also says to the employee that we have your back.
Exactly.
If you're setting up all this stuff, especially for them, like, man, my credit union or my company cares about me.
Exactly.
So there's a loyalty thing there.
It's not all about ROI. We have the financial wherewithal to do it, as do many credit unions. Our board supports it. So it's really time to, I'm a former CFO. You kind of got to lose sight of some of the numbers at times and do the right thing. And this is the right thing. We were talking earlier, the younger generation, and I don't call them, the millennials and Gen X and all this stuff. We call it Gen C. And Gen C is anybody who's connected by the mobile device or a tablet. So there's this propensity to sort of job hop. We're seeing lots of resumes where they're 2-3 years at an employer max, and then they move, and that's sort of the norm we're seeing. And so instead of trying to fight that, we're embracing that. We're still hiring those people, but our challenge is, how do we keep them longer than 2 or 3 years? And this is how we're doing it through these things I mentioned. So it's new to us. We're probably 1.5 years into it, but it's exciting stuff. We've had some great returns early on, and hopefully we'll be the employer of choice in San Diego someday.
I don't see why not. Are there other credit unions that are doing this, do you know of? Or
I think so.
It sounds like a fairly new thing.
Yeah, it's new for us. We don't see it done
based on the competition that's out there.
Yeah, it's not quite as robust as what we're trying to do. There's other pieces. We're on college campuses talking to students, and I say students, not students that are about to graduate, but about credit unions, about California Coast, sort of planting that seed early. And because what we find in San Diego is when they graduate college, they want to stay in San Diego if they can afford to live there.
That's the caveat.
Yeah. So so we're trying to hit it on several aspects, but we're not seeing a lot of organizations doing it. Certainly not seeing credit unions do it.
But I think you brought up a good point. This is kind of our new normal now, as far as employees go, because like that one employee, boom, they're not even looking, and all of a sudden they're at another company.
That was an eye-opener
Blink
for
of an
us.
eye,
It was definitely an eye-opener. I was shocked. We didn't even have time to counter.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, wait a minute.
But
it's a Shark Tank or what?
The fact that we would have had to have countered shows that perhaps we're not doing the right things in the first place. So that's something on the top of our mind. We always look at our high performers in the credit union and make sure that they're never in that situation where they can be stolen at a blink of an eye. We got to make sure they're taken care of right now, and that they don't even think about and want to leave for culture reasons or employer reasons. So.
Yeah, I think it takes a special person to work at a credit union because of the mission that we have and how ingrained we are in communities. And so I'm sure that's the type of people that you guys look for at these job fairs or anywhere you can find them.
Absolutely. And again, our members love our employees. and they love them because they're that type of
Yeah.
person that really enjoys working at a credit union, enjoys the mission, enjoys giving back. We're very involved in a lot of local charities. But last Saturday night was especially gratifying. I actually chaired Light the Night, which is Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's biggest event in major metropolitan areas, and certainly in San Diego. Raised almost $1 million on Saturday night, and we had 150 employees out there. But more importantly, they brought friends and family members. I had my wife and son out there and daughter. And it is just a big family event. We're all wearing Cal Coast Cares t-shirts, raising money for them. And so we didn't have a big check presentation. It was, let's get out there, grassroots, be a part of this, and make a difference. And something like that is going on every single weekend. We've had weekends where we've been at 7 different events. And sometimes we worry that we're stretching people a little too thin. But they tell us, give us more. Give us more.
Really?
And
that's encouraging.
In return, we give them time off of work when they donate their time.
Right on.
So, and it's an opportunity to meet their family members and kids and get to know them on that basis. And again, it's something that it's hard to see what the ROI is, but it's the right thing to do.
It's there.
It's there,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of fun, and it's how how we choose to do business in San Diego.
Very cool. Good stuff. Man, Todd, I had no idea. I got more than I bargained for in this conversation, so thank you.
Well, hopefully next year it's going to be even bigger, and I'll be able to tell you more about it. But it's what excites me as a CEO is this sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think this is what we have to deal with now. And it's not just credit unions. It's probably any industry. People are probably being, pardon the term, poached.
That's right.
In any industry, so you got to be on your toes.
Exactly. I mean, there's lots of good employers out there, and they pay great wages, but you got to be different. You got to be unique, and you got to have that purpose. And I know it's a cliche, but you got to live that purpose. It can't be, as I said, just writing a check and the CEO taking a picture with some charity. It's not about that.
You got to live it.
Got to live it. Got to be on the ground doing it.
Great message to end on. Todd, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Mike.
Appreciate the time as always.
All right.
Keep up the good work. You guys are killing it out there in a good way.
Trying to.
Right. Excellent, sir.
Good.
Excellent. Oh, my God.
All right. We knocked it out.
Yeah, out of